City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Special beyond special.
Best player in the Premier League.
Captain Marvel. Drogba! Rooney! Oh, wonderful! That is one Derby diamond.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Alrighty, welcome back into Clash of Clubs. This is episode 7, another pre-recorded one because I think at this point I will be in Germany, which is the theme of my outfit today. I'm joined obviously with Mila and Grant. Today we're going to continue the previous episode and the ending of the episode 2 ago. Whoa, English. And we're going to go and start with our top 10's. And then go into our top 10 wingers. I will pass it now off to Grant to start off his list.
Starting off at 10 with some Tottenham scum, I have James Maddison.
Yeah, I have Maddison at 10 as well.
Oh,
it's a good,
nice.
It's a good shout.
I thought I had him low.
Now I think I either forgot some people or you guys have some takes.
I personally, he's I think there's like a level to his play, and when he's on his game, maybe we could argue he could be top 5, but I don't see it often enough for me to want to put him any higher than 10.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
He started off really hot when that team first started up last year. He was really good, but I mean he got hurt and then never really came back to that form. But yeah, when he's on his game, for sure. Who'd you have at 10, Mila?
Well, okay. I need to preface 2 things. I had a tough time with the lower end of this list because I think top 5 or 6 were probably really easy to take. I split my attacking mids into like 4 tiers, basically. So the 10, 9, and 8 I have in my 4th tier. And at the top, at 10, I couldn't decide between Gibbs White and Smith Rowe.
I totally forgot about Gibbs White. That's actually
I have
really
Gibbs
good
White
shout.
at 9.
I have both of them at my 10. I couldn't decide, and I don't want to decide right now, but I think they both could make an argument at the 10 of the
I feel
top 10.
like you have to give Gibbs White the edge because he's played over the past 2 years. He's captained his side, and Smith Rowe's good. Like he looks good already with Fulham, but hasn't had much game time. So I do have Gibbs White at 9 though. I think he's a really good player, especially if he gets a move to a team plays more progressive. I think you can obviously see it more in an England call up.
Honestly, I didn't realize how young he was until a couple weeks ago. He's still really young.
Really solid player. I agree with that. That's him at 9 or 10 is. I should have actually thought of that. That's a mistake in my list. I would have put him over Maddison if I had thought of that.
Who do you have at 9, Dylan?
Based solely off of the first 3 games of the season, I have Morgan Rogers.
Yes.
At 9.
I also have Morgan Rogers at 9.
Yeah, the talent alone gives me the feelings of a really powerful, like, just ball winning and ball retaining and then driving center attacking mid. Like, he hasn't had any goals or assists, I don't think, yet. So far this season, but he probably should have 4 or 5. Watkins has just fucked them all up. So
I agree. That was my main thing is like talent wise, eye test wise, he's done really everything that we could want him to do. But with the G&A, mainly the assists, like he should have a couple. I'm gonna probably say this a couple times during this video, but
yeah.
His teammates are letting him down, but he looks electric. Like really good.
I didn't have him as a 10, so he's not on my list.
Wow.
Did you have him like as a shadow striker?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the toughest thing is making those differences of like who is there and who's not.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Fair.
Would you have a 9, Mila?
I had Morgan Rogers at 9.
Okay,
also.
cool.
Same reasons.
All right. Number 8, I have Szoboszlai. I think he kind of played that advanced wide role with Leipzig and didn't really have too many defensive duties and was really at his best. Played as an 8 last year. And now you can already kind of see in that system, he's kind of being more free as a 10. He's just kind of pulling strings up there. He looks a lot more comfortable, and I think he's only going to grow into that, especially the team. I mean, Liverpool do look strong. regardless of the fixtures. I mean, they've taken care of business, so I expect him to have a pretty big year, especially given his first year. He's okay. So yeah, I think he can definitely go up by the end of the year, but I got him at 8.
That's also who I have at 8.
I don't have
same-
him in my top 10.
Nah.
Wow,
You keep
honestly,
going.
I don't even
not
hate that
surprised.
take,
I'm
just
not
because
surprised.
he wasn't shown to his ability
Yeah.
last year under Klopp. I think the system is definitely better suited for him now than it was before.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I have Yao Pedro at 8.
Yeah.
And he's the last one in my fourth tier of these 10s.
He's nice. I have him as a striker, though.
Okay, you guys know I hated him as a striker. I thought he was just a walking pile of poo. But stepping back a little bit, he does seem a little better to me.
He's quality.
I think his attributes suit that like role sitting behind the striker a lot more. Obviously, still has the ability to play the striker when their striker goes off. So that's why I have him at 8 in the top 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just jump into 7 because that's my 7. Definitely the similar kind of vibes. I didn't really like him as a striker. I think that obviously, like, as a game-changing striker, like towards the back end of the 15 of a match, like can be really impactful there. But I think just getting him on the ball more often than not has been really good for Brighton, and he's been really sharp to start the season. And I think he's just got so much potential that it feels like the next move for him is probably a top 6 team, and he could go in the region of 80, just for being Brazilian.
Yeah. Great goal at the Emirates. Love that.
And he got one against United too. So obviously I have the image in my mind.
He's going good right now.
Yeah. I got Eze at 7.
At 7.
Yeah. I got Eze at 7. I think got his England call up, got some minutes there, but under Glasner, I just feel like everyone in the attacking phase, honestly, everyone has just gotten a little better. And obviously, slow start to this year, but that goal against Chelsea, I mean, that's just what he does. You can't give a player like that space, and I feel like more than just GA too, he just shows the quality throughout. So, yeah, I feel definitely room to grow for him too. But yeah, 7's cool for now.
I have Madison at 7. So pretty similar reasons that you guys were saying. I just value him a little higher. I do think there's Tottenham tax when it comes to him. So I give him the benefit of the doubt with that. Yeah. 7.
7. So we're at 6.
Yeah.
All right. Dylan, I have Bruno Fernandes at 6. I think part of that can be United tax too. I actually think he might be overhated for me. I mean, given like the ability of the player, it's just that system is such a mess, and like every game being a basketball game, it almost lets him be a little unchecked, I guess, in terms of his willingness to take chances. And sometimes it does work because he's a very creative player and can pull it off. But for other times, it can be to their detriment. So I still think he's a very good player. But I just have 5 players better than him in the position.
I was gonna say I'm curious to see who you have like higher than him. I honestly, in my opinion, I thought there was only in this list there was a clear top 5 to me, and he's in my top 5, and I can debate that further. But
for sure. I don't think it's heinous. No,
and I understand from an outsider's perspective. I understand him being in 6 because he is a polarizing figure, and he's not likable. That's for sure.
Oh,
if he's not on your team, there's no reason to like him.
Nothing about
6
him.
isn't far off from where I really had him anyways. So, yeah, my 6 is Eze. I think for the reasons that you were saying. Also, just from a consistency factor, like being good in a Palace side that has had just not the best offensive managers is really what kind of shines for me. It sucks because it's getting to that point in his career where if he doesn't get the move, like it's not going to happen. I wish it had already happened. I thought that it was going to happen this summer with Elise going, and I thought like, hey, this is the time for him to shine. I think I've mentioned to you guys, he feels like a Tottenham player to me. And like that's the kind of evolution for him, because I just don't, in my opinion, I don't see him taking. We're going to talk about our top 5s. He's not better than any of these guys by I think some margin. And so, like, I just don't know where he goes from here if it's not Tottenham. And yeah, so that's why he's my 6.
I also have Eze at my 6. He's the second tier 3 guy that I have. I think, yeah, similar to what you guys said, I don't need to repeat anything. I do think he's been a little unlucky with some of the stuff that's gone against him this year. He had one goal that really shouldn't have been called off. But other than that, with the move is the main thing I wanted to talk about. I feel like he kind of just got teased all summer. Teams were asking Palace about him, and they honestly thought that he was going to get sold, and then a bid never came in. So that he kind of got hard done by in that sense. But like you were saying, I think he can get a move. And the main thing with looking at these lists is, like, I wanted to see who the top teams would probably take, and he's definitely one of the top guys that any of these teams would add.
Yep. And I think, to be fair, though, Palace did bring in some reinforcements, so at least it's not just he's getting hung out to dry. So he'll be able to still perform for sure.
All right, we're gonna have to take a break here. He's apparently at my door, so
That's fair.
give me 1 sec.
We're at 5.
At 5.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, bro. My list is super valid. Well, because also, we're about to get into it, but yeah. Bernardo's not. I didn't put him on my winger list, so. He's in this part. But Dylan also didn't. Oh, you didn't put him in there? Did Dylan put him on his winger list?
I might have had him on my 8 list. That might be why.
Nah, bro, a fart face. Joey's at the door. Not.
All right, so Dylan, just bridge us back in. Bridge us in with number 5.
Yeah. Okay. I'm saying my number 5, or
I think we're just at number 5.
Grant,
yeah,
okay. We're at number 5. Yeah.
All right. All right, Grant. Now tell us your number 5.
I put Bernardo Silva. I know one of you put him at winger. Was that you, Dylan?
No, I had him at the 8, I believe.
Oh, you had him.
We both had him at the 8. Yeah.
You guys had him as 8s. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got him as a 10. Whatever. I feel like we've already talked about him enough. There's not much that needs to be said. He's very good. Yeah, not much really.
He's a good player.
Well, why do you put him in the top 10s instead of the top of the top 8s? Is probably what you should.
Sure. I don't know. I feel like as a winger, there's not much pace there. And then in the system they're playing now, just 3-1-6, 3-4, or 3-2-4-1, whatever it is. I feel like in those half spaces where he does his best work, or if he's interchanging with that 10 as the winger, and he can get on that touch line a bit, let someone run in. Like, I feel like that's his best space and where he maneuvers at his best.
Yeah. It's fair. I mean, he probably would have been in my top 5 if I
had to put him somewhere. Yeah, he's so good. Like,
that's the thing. That just speaks to how good he is. Is he's in the top 10 list of all of these if we really could fit him in.
Right. Yeah. Pep tried him at left back. What was that, 2 years ago?
Top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10.
The guy can. And that was a bit of a disaster. Yeah, he could play anywhere, and he's top level.
What disaster?
So. And they still won. Yeah, love that. All right.
Okay, so my number 5 is Odegaard.
Okay.
Yeah, which might feel low, but I just don't really like. He's a great player and he's super creative. I just and we're gonna see really. Well, obviously this is this is after the Spurs Arsenal game. I just don't know if he really makes that much of a difference in the Arsenal side.
But he's not going to be in the Arsenal side.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like we're not gonna we're gonna see what I'm saying. I personally, like, he's a great player. I just don't think that he honestly provides as much as everyone thinks he does.
I think you could say that if they had more depth in their squad behind him to fill in behind him. I don't think. I think
like Nwaneri's going to play there.
I was honestly thinking Havertz is just going to drop into that role.
Oh,
that's going to be devastating.
Oh,
I don't really see it. He hasn't had like the GA output that I think that he should, and he just ghosts in a bunch of big games where like Arsenal could have got over the line if he was just better in the bigger games, and he wasn't, and that's why he's my 5. Is because the guys above him are 1, clear winners, and 2, just produce more than he does on in a given season. Yeah. All right, Mila, you say
That's
your
your
5.
5. And last tier 3 guy, Palmer. I just don't. I can't put him at the same level of players as the 4 people above him, and we've only seen it for 1 season. Like the other guys, I think have done it. And the thing is, I think you have to look at what he did last season and remember that a lot of it is just him. Like they were playing through him, you know.
Yeah.
Like the game plan it was Palmer ball. So,
Our
or
coach had 8 brain cells. That's not his fault, bro.
I didn't say it was Palmer's fault.
Yeah.
That's just where a lot of that G&A is coming from. He's also on every penalty, so like a lot of that is inflated. So as of right now, he's at my 5, and I think at the cusp of that 3rd tier for me. But if he has another good season, 2 good seasons, he could easily jump up.
Yeah. I mean, well, I'll talk about him a little more when that position on my list comes up. But yeah, it's only been 1 year. Yeah. You were the one telling me about him like 3 years ago too. That's
Yeah,
the
he's
crazy
Yeah,
part.
fast,
we
And
but
the
were.
fact that you put him in the lower tier, that's crazy.
No,
Well,
okay, whoa.
No, he's no longer
The cusp.
City, so he has to.
You'll
Yeah.
understand my
No.
tiers. My tiers will make more sense once my list is done. Okay.
No. I'm not having that. He's not in the same tier as these bums. So we're at number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Odegaard. I see what you're saying with the whole ghost situation. Like, I understand the allegations. I also think he has scored some goals in some big games. So, like, more often than not, he hasn't. But they're going to be in more big games realistically than he's been in the past. You know, with those just bad Arsenal teams. So we'll see. But yeah, like you said, very creative player, very good player. Probably my favorite Arsenal player, which is a gross sequence of words to use in that order. But no, yeah, he's a good player. I got him at 4.
I will give him one thing. He does press really not like a lot, but it's really smart. And that might be the product of the system, but like he does that really well. And if that's my bold take, that's why I have him at 5.
Game's a game. No.
Yeah.
So we got a 4.
Yeah, 4. This is where I have my United player. This is where I put Bruno. The top 3 guys are just kind of in right now, currently a little bit of like a class above. Bruno, when he is on, is honestly it's 1A and 1B with another player to me. I think that he just kind of goes through waves of inconsistency, and that honestly that could probably resolve around just the idea of United not being a cohesive system. But since coming to United, he's been United's best player every single season.
100%.
To take on the armband at United is no small task, and that's important. And honestly, like I don't really know where United would be right now if Bruno doesn't come in the summer with Ole. All of the stuff that everyone's been talking about with Ole, revolutionaries, whatever it is, thank you. Has been built around just watching Bruno do highlight plays. And so he's just such an important piece. And I was telling you guys before we were doing this, like that's what these 2 lists to me are the players that are most important to their teams and what they do fundamentally. And Bruno is one of those players.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I have Bruno at 4th as well. He's in that 2nd tier for me. Yeah, I can't really say anything more than you just said. I just think he's really important to your guys' squad. Have him low 4. He could be 2, and honestly, from what I've seen, if I could see him play in like a built squad, like a structured squad, I think that would be the defining factor to put him above some of these other guys.
Yeah. I don't know if it doesn't feel like the system's currently getting the best out of him.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. All right.
But hopefully we can see that soon and then see what he's really made of.
Yeah, revise the list like towards mid-season, see where all these guys kind of fall towards. All right, Grant, 4.
No, 3.
Shoot, I can't numbers. 3.
I got Philip Walter Foden. I think if I didn't watch the Euros, he'd be number 1. I think he had a phenomenal season. I mean, the outside the box goals this guy was thumping in last game against West Ham, like he was there every game, like the big games, like he was going off. But that Euros really took his stock down. Mind you, he's probably gonna have a very good year again. But I just can't unsee those games where he just did not have an impact. He didn't get on the ball and just make shit happen. Where to me, the other 2 above him on my list do that in those type of games. They just take it by the neck and say, I have to do something. Like I'm not letting this slide. Like in this position, when you're playing as a 10, and if you're that guy on your team, that's what has to be done. You know what I mean? So that's how I justified Foden at 3.
Yeah. That was a good summary. Foden's my 3 as well, and it's honestly...
He's also my 3.
Okay, he's just, the Euro bias just left this really salty, bad taste in my mouth.
I had nothing to do with it for me, honestly.
And also, he's just not the best 10 on his own team, so how could I possibly put him any higher than 3? He is phenomenal and a world talent, and probably one of England's best talents, period?
Yeah, 100%. There's an argument.
I would have loved for him to have a great Euros, and then this conversation would be a lot harder. But yeah, so we all had him at 3. It's lame. Okay, so I'm very curious to see if you and me, Grant, have the same top 3. I have a feeling you're gonna do something stupid, and I'm not gonna like it.
Oh, dude.
And I know what you're about to do because this has happened every single time, and I've got a bad feeling about it. But because Mila's is gonna be different. Mila, you kick off your 2.
Is it because I haven't said Chukwuemeka yet?
Yes.
I have Odegaard at 2, and I would have him lower because of the first 3 games, but it's the first 3 games, so I want to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. I think he was really good and effective for their squad last season, and important to how they just operate as a team. And like Shadman was saying in a couple episodes ago, like, he does need to step up. Right now, he's not stepping up. It's just Saka doing all the work. We're going to see a lot more of that this weekend against Tottenham, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever this comes out. During that North London derby, we're going to see he can carry all that weight on his shoulders without the other guys, or if some of those other guys can step up, and I don't think they can. At the end of the day, I think it's going to fall onto Odegaard for their season if
All
That's
right.
my 2.
Just because I'm so curious to see if your Chelsea bias came out, I'm going to say my 2 is Cole Palmer. And it's because he hasn't proven it for long enough, but wow, he's a talent. And I'm going to go back to importance to their team. Where would Chelsea be if Cole Palmer's not bought from City and
playing Stoke?
Probably, and we're also we're not having the conversations of like the money transfer. There'd be a whole mess of just awful events for Chelsea if he's not there.
Yeah.
Obviously, he is a bit of a pen merchant, and that's fine because someone's got to put him away. I watch this team weekly, and they don't put him away. So it's important in its own right. It does inflate his stats, but even without that, like just it feels like the system is him. Regardless of who's in it, and I mean he gets 3 assists to Madueke in that game because he is the system. The ball just happens to find him. He's just got this weird thing where the ball finds him in perfect spots, and he has this perfect knack for finishing. So yeah, that's why he's my 2.
Yeah, that's why he's at number 1 for me. I mean, he's just that good. Like
that's so fucking crazy.
It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absurd. I kind of justified it in my head by like, oh, De Bruyne's like he's going to San Diego next year.
But that's not even confirmed.
Oh, I know. I had to get Palmer at the top of this list, bro. Like I had to. So like and he also missed half the season, mind you. He was also absurd the other half that he played, and
the half of the season that he played, and he was one of the top 5
No, he's
attacking
amazing.
midfielders in Europe. I don't
Bro, he's like
know.
probably the
I don't
best
think there's any
midfielder.
justification for not putting him one.
Because he's like older now. We're not talking about all of KDB. I'm talking about right now.
Yeah, right
The
now.
KDB that I've seen in the first 3 games has been better than the Palmer that I've seen in the first.
He looks scarier. I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
whole City team looks like they're on some bullshit. Like they want 5 in a row. Like I'm not doubting that. Matter of fact, I think they are going to win it again. But if this guy wasn't on a shit team that is in the Conference League, he would be on the podium for the Ballon d'Or.
He was on the bench.
Bro.
He was holding bench on a better team. That's the issue in the argument.
Sure. Okay. How many GA is like Doku getting? Oh, what am I using GA for?
Bro,
It's getting ugly. It's getting ugly, mate. How about this? Scratch it. Yeah, that's sad.
I'm gonna tax this up to your Chelsea bias because I think if you weren't a Chelsea fan, he's not your one.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
But listen. Realistically, yes, KDB is the GOAT midfielder in this league. You have to give him his respect. Of course, I had to get Palmer at number 1 on the list. I needed to see your reactions. But honestly, I'm just talking when I watch a player, like to kind of give you more of like context, I guess. Think of the Chelsea team I had to watch the year before. Just think of who was like in the attacking phases. You had Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Aubameyang. I went from watching those guys in the final third doing what they did to that. Like it was night and day.
Then you can't use that as a justification.
I'm just trying to show you. I'm just trying to make you understand why I see him in this light almost. Where it's this guy is like different. Like he's just different, bro.
Okay, but you just named a bunch of fucking piles of shit.
Right, because that's what I had to see.
I was literally about to say
shit.
And now I see
KDB makes the fucking best players in the league look like shit.
Oh, he's nice, bro. He does it against us every time.
Okay, that's what
I'm not arguing against him, fam. I just had to get Palmer.
You are though. That's the whole point of putting him at 1.
Bro, what did a wise man once say?
No, you have to justify
I respect them all, but all eras come to an end. Who said that?
The
only truthful person.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was wrong about
it. 2 trophies, suck it.
Yeah, bro. I had to see if I could pull that off. Kind of fucking shit my pants, but whatever. Hey,
jeez.
Most GA in the league.
All right, let's sidebar your Palmer.
Sure.
Hot take. Whatever. Mila, do you go on your rant for Kevin De Bruyne?
I don't need to go on my rant.
Yeah, no,
I think it's self-explanatory.
No. But you should. You should speak to his greatness, not a rant.
No, I know. I'm okay. Like, we can even talk about GNA if we want to.
I've got to pull up, honestly.
And
this is ridiculous.
He's hit the post and the bar, 4 times already? Like, it's coming. It's been 3 games.
I also think, I guess
everything that you want from him is on the way, in my opinion.
Another thing that could kind of justify it, and obviously there's context to it, it's not really comparing the player to each other, but again, in terms of importance to their team, KDB can miss half of a year, City can still be at the top of the league. Palmer's not in this team. They're in the lottery.
Well, that's because you don't have another top 10 attacking mid in your team. We do. Like, you can't fault him because we have Foden. He's 3rd on all our lists.
You had 2 of them.
No, for sure. 3. Does Foden even... But, I mean, he'll play wide. Bernardo's
not when KDB's out, though. To your argument, like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's just good business from City.
No, yeah. But if we're talking impact on team, regardless of if it's fair or not, get finessed.
I don't think that City went 5 or 4 straight without him.
Arsenal, the first year they really came on.
He came back and, like, invigorated our team. I don't, like... He was clear. We were clearly missing something without him. We were still very good, but you can't fault him for that. His impact is ridiculous.
I think you just can't compare anyone's impact. For Palmer's impact last year on that team, like they were lost. They couldn't score goals. They scored 38 goals. All of the year before, and he comes in 22 and 11 in the league. Like as like a first year player in the league, like we need to like. Yeah, I probably am out of pocket for putting him above Kevin De Bruyne, but in terms of like debut seasons in this league, like what he just did is absurd. Like I do think we need to understand how ridiculous that year was. Like regardless of the pens, yeah, he scored pens. Those first few pens, Jesus Christ, against Tottenham he scores a pen. Arsenal scores a pen. Man City last minute scores a pen. Like these were big games where he's scoring it, right? So those are like not very easy for a 21-year-old to just go up there and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna take this pen," right? And then I mean, just towards the end of the year, just absurd. And then even in the Euros, when he's getting a few chances, not even starting, assist in the semifinal, goal in the final, right? Like he just has something about him. Like the whole like nonchalant gimmick. Like he genuinely is just does not know what's going on. Like he's just so out of it. Like he's not phased. He's just like looking around, okay, and he's just doing the thing, bro. Like to me, it's just absurd. So yeah,
You
out of
have him
pocket
at
for putting
one
him at number
because
one.
you think he's cooler.
Not cooler, fam.
That's literally
Not at
all
all.
you just said.
Not at all.
His gimmick is getting you. His gimmick's
Not
got
at
you
all.
right.
Not
That's
at all. Hey man, we'll see shit. We'll see.
Kevin De Bruyne has been
We don't need to see.
the best or one of the best midfielders in the world for 10 straight years now. The one thing that's really been important with me in the De Bruyne thing is he's consistently playing 40 plus games this season. Last year was the first year that he's really been injured, and he still put up 17 assists. Like I don't even care if he's got Holland. To do that to any team on the planet is ridiculous. He really is the life and soul of the team, which I didn't think I'd be saying when he first came into the City team, as I wasn't expecting him to be the lifeline of the team. But I don't think between him and Rodri, I don't think there's two more important players to argue a point against what you were saying earlier that are as important as leaders and characters to their team. And if you were to ask me if I could have one player from this list for one season today, who would it be? It would be Kevin De Bruyne. I don't think there's anyone even in a tier remotely close for me. Like this is like if I could put 10 more blank spots and then a player, it would be Kevin De Bruyne.
Wait, did you have Palmer at 2?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll take those.
Yeah, no. He's next up. Like, look, like this list.
Dylan's making my point. That my whole point of my tier thing was that KDB is a tier above the next tier. Like, there's a tier gap between them. In my opinion.
Palmer, see, bro, that's what I thought it was. I thought you put him in the tier below the top level. You just said the top level is KDB, and then there's another tier. Okay,
yeah,
it's the Moneyball thing. It's like it's
bro. Let's be real. I had to try it, bro. That was funny. Yeah, definitely got shit on, but it's valid. I tried it.
My list is the same, except for if De Bruyne's not there, it's the exact same, pretty much. We listed, and all of us had actually relatively similar lists up until like.
See, bro, that's why I had to do that, bro. This video was fucking boring.
Oh, that's fair.
No, I had him at number 1 the whole time. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Grant, you list your top 10s in the Premier League.
All right. I got James Maddison at 10, Morgan Gibbs-White at 9, Dominic Szoboszlai at 8. I've got Eze at 7, Bruno Fernandes at 6, Bernardo Silva at 5, Martin Odegaard at 4, Foden at 3, De Bruyne at 2, Palmer at number 1.
I can't wait to clip that.
Fucking sicko.
Can't wait to clip that.
Yeah, bro. What are you gonna do?
All right. My 10 is also Maddison, 9 Morgan Rogers, 8 Szoboszlai, 7 Pedro, 6 Eze, 5 Odegaard, 4 Bruno Fernandes, 3 Philium Foden, 2 Cole Palmer, and 1 Kevin De Bruyne.
Okay. At my 10, I had Gibbs White / Smith Rowe.
Oh, bro, you gotta pick one.
No,
It's
I
not top
can't.
11.
Sorry.
You gotta pick one.
I'll put Gibbs White there. Since you have him on your list as well, there's a little more justification. Rogers at 9, João Pedro at 8, Maddison at 7, Eze at 6, Cole Palmer at 5, Bruno at 4, Foden at 3, Odegaard at 2, and Kevin De Bruyne at 1.
On the flip, we'll get into our top 10 wingers. Alrighty, now we're gonna go into our top 10 wingers in the Premier League. Mila, let's start us off at number 10.
Ooh, I have Madueke at 10. Recency bias, somewhat. He's played really well, though. I thought he was going to get a move away from Chelsea this summer. I didn't think he was going to be in the team. So to see him play like this and kind of earn his spot amongst the plethora of wingers that they have is really cool to see. And I think throughout the season, he could definitely jump up in this list. But right now, I have him at my 10.
I have Kudus at my 10. I think he's very good. I'd be fuming if I was a United fan. You got the wrong winger.
Yeah, I got the wrong
from Ajax. Yeah, he's absurd. I mean, I thought they started playing him on the left, obviously, because Bowen is just as good as he is, kind of taking that right hand side for them. But I mean, even then, that's not his preferred side, and he still makes things happen week in, week out. I remember we beat them like 5-0 last year. He completed like 8 dribbles or something. I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, relax. We're 5. Stop. Like, he's just. Yeah, it's a shame he's on West Ham, but yeah, that's why he's at 10. Could be higher. His team didn't suck.
Yeah, he's definitely on my list, but he's not my 10. My 10 is, I'm gonna butcher his name because I butcher all names. It's just part of my charm. Mbeumo?
Great inclusion, Dylan.
Nice.
He is. There was a bunch of guys where I really struggled to like. They could be in my 10. Importance to a team. Tony gone. This guy has totally picked up the entire slack. If he was in a better side, his goal and assist contributions would be much higher. I mean, he's really their danger man, and it feels like when you're playing him and you're like, hey, if anybody's gonna make something happen for him today, it's him. And I've been super impressed with him just be at the start of this season. He kind of is just picking up the form that he had last season. And if he wasn't also bald, that's a big problem.
100%, bro.
That's a
You're taking all my talking points.
He loses clout for that.
He's like 25.
People I have him in my list too, though, so I don't want to talk about him right now.
Yeah. So that's why it's my 10 is I just haven't seen it. This was so hard for me to put guys in ranking order, but I just haven't. It's Brentford, so I can't, with my heart, put him any higher.
Big fish, small pond.
Maybe. All right.
Who's next? Am I next?
Yeah, 9.
At 9, I have Savinho. Small sample size again, but I think what he's done for us in the 2 games that he did play were really, really impactful. 1 penalty. He just looks explosive. So I really don't have anything that I want him to improve upon rapidly. I think we'll see his progression throughout the year. For his first season, first couple games in the City shirt, I think he's been really good.
Yeah,
100%. Small sample size, so I didn't throw him in my top 10, but definitely can easily get into that list. I got Leon Bailey at 9. I think when Diaby came in last year, I started to think it might be done with Leon Bailey and Aston Villa. It didn't really seem like he was ever living up to expectations when they first bought him. And then I feel like last year was really the year he kind of put it all together, as did Villa. Obviously, top 4, they make it the Champions League, but I think Leon Bailey was a huge part of that team, and I mean, you saw Diaby's already gone. I think that was a lot of competition for him in that spot on the right wing for Villa, and he won that spot convincingly, and I think he's going to be a big part for them moving forward, so I got him at 9.
Yeah, I didn't have him in my list just because I think he's a product of the system. They have McGinn playing like left. It's a left mid. It's not even a right wing. He's just he's just a fast like bomb it down. And I'm gonna put someone in my list later who does the exact same thing and more efficiently. And that's why he's just not on my list, is because I can't with my soul have 2 of those guys in the same squad. That's really gross.
I guess we see him differently.
Yeah, probably. I just
not valid, whatever.
9, I have Gordon. Thought he was really good for Newcastle last season. He's on talent alone, I think that he could potentially move up this list as his career furthers. I think that, the progression with him has been really, really good. Going from Everton, kind of being this like, is he going to make the Chelsea move? Ends up going to Newcastle, which is obviously a smaller team, and it's played out really well for him. And I think that the Eddie Howe system has been done. He's obviously had the fruits of his labors seen with. He had a really good season, and I think he's just progressing through the natural things with wingers, because it's not every season you're gonna, unless you're playing for a top end club, you kind of, the natural ebbs and flow of the Prem being as taxing as it is. I just think that he's on the upward tick, and so that's why he's at my 9.
No problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't have him in mind, but I do agree with
You don't have him in
your
yours,
points.
wow.
I don't have him in mind.
All right.
At 8, I have Matoma. I think he's really intelligent, really good dribbler. I do wish we could see him on a better team, but Brighton look really good right now. So if they can keep developing and he can keep developing, I think he's a really impactful player on their team. And that's why I have him at 8.
I have Mbuemo at 8. I think, you pretty much summed it up very well, Dylan. I just think, like you said, Tony not being in that team, everyone was kind of worried about them, thinking, oh, they might get relegated. And Mbuemo picked that slack up, and he continued to pick up that slack when Tony came back. Tony not even in the team to start. Obviously, he left for Saudi. He's still doing it. So I think to be able to kind of put that team on his back the way he has, and obviously with Wisa as well, I think we have to give him an honorable mention in terms of Brentford. But I definitely think Mbuemo's deserving to be on the list, and obviously could be due for a move. But again, people just think, oh, he's just a bald dude in his 30s. No, or he's a 25-year-old winger who is putting up big numbers at Brentford. So I would love to see him get a move, but I also really like what he's doing at Brentford. But yeah, got him at 8.
Yeah, my 8 is Savinho. Based off of what I've seen in these early games, and I'm gonna go back to when he wasn't even playing at, in the Prem. He just is a saucy footballer, and it's everything that I like to see. Pep kind of just got a more athletic Mahrez, and it feels like the right side is his if he wants it. I thought Doku didn't necessarily have it. Bob is going to have. I'm not forgetting about him, and Bob is going to see his time. But I think that if Savinho is playing the way he's playing right now, Bob's going to get minutes in cup games and not in the Prem, because I just think he's been that good. I just, as a difference maker.
This is the dilemma.
It is the dilemma, and this is the thing with City is City has so many of these freaking dudes that it's stupid. But
I think this one's a hard one though, because Bob, going into the season before the injury, we thought he was going to be one of the more important players in the squad. Didn't really know what Savinho was going to do coming in. Savinho doesn't cover up for what we're missing with Bob out though.
No,
so they're going to offer different things. It might honestly just be a rotation thing where they're both getting a decent amount of minutes, but neither of them are getting the majority of that spot's minutes.
But until Bob's back, is anybody better suited on the right?
They might have to do some things to fit in some of the other guys on the left, is what I'll say. And I think that might cut into his minutes a bit just because he's new into the team.
That's fair. Yeah, 7.
7. I have Neto, and I honestly think he's really talented, and I would have him higher if it wasn't for his injury problems. If he can stay fit, he's dangerous. On Wolves, he was dangerous, but on Chelsea, he could take it up another step. So, honestly, like I've said about almost everyone in this list, I think they can go up higher throughout the season. I just need to see his impact on the new team. And I also need to see if he can stay fit, especially with that Chelsea squad that doesn't stay fit.
Don't fucking remind me. I have Madueke at 7. I know you touched on it. Very positive start for the year. I just think from when he first came in for about 35 mil in January of 23, he just wasn't a finished product. You saw the flashes in it. You saw he liked to take people on. Just wasn't always there, especially the end product. And that hat trick, the big takeaway for me was, it's the right foot. he never took shots on that right foot. I mean, maybe seldom a few times last year, but now he's confidently hitting that shot with his right foot. And that's when you really take that step for me as a winger, because now people can't anticipate, oh, he's just going to cut in and shoot. He'll just keep going wide, hit it near post hard, right? And I think that's a huge evolution for his game, especially in this new system where it's very positive for wingers. Stay wide, go at your man. I think he's going to flourish. And obviously, consistency is still a big thing for him, most young wingers. But I think he's going to get minutes. There's a lot of games this year. We've got a Club World Cup at the end of the year. Like, we could play 80 games. Don't think we get that far, but it's possible. So I think he's going to get more than enough minutes to develop and take another big jump this year.
Yeah, I'm going to preface this with, he's not in my list. I just don't, I haven't seen it for long enough across his career to give it to him. I think the hat trick kind of boosted what we think of him, because if he doesn't have that hat trick, and let's just say he doesn't score a goal in that game, is he in your list?
I mean, he was man of the match for me, and by the end, in the first half, he was our best attacker in the game. So yes, hat trick tax for sure. But I only put one Chelsea winger on this list. I wanted to throw more on, obviously, but for me, he's consistently the most positive winger or attacker, wide attacker that we have right now. Just given consistently going at his man, whether or not he has a good game in terms of the end product, if he's getting past his guy, he's going for it every time. And I think the more reps he gets, the better he's going to get. So,
yeah. No, that's fair. And it's kind of similar to what I feel like with Savio. Like, the right side is his until he doesn't want it anymore. The only issue is with Chelsea's, with having so many attackers, is he has a couple bad games and Palmer gets kicked out to the right, and we don't see him for 5
or
games.
Neto, you just spent 60 million on him.
Right?
He prefers to be on the right side, and I think yes, that is an argument. I think the counter argument is people are going to elevate their games. You can't slip, and I think that's going to elevate like the players with the right mentality. That's going to elevate them to another level. Be like, oh, Pedro Neto's right behind me. Like a guy like Sterling comes in and puts out a statement. You know what I mean? Other players put their head down and work, like Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, the exact same style of player. Totally different. I hope he's in your top 10. I hope he's your number one, honestly.
No, he's not in my list, fam.
Yeah.
That would have been funny, though.
That would have been jokes. I'll go to my 7. I have Kudus, the better of the Ajax wingers to come in. C.O.C, he's out of position. I just don't think he's better than the other winger on his team, and that's why I have him lower.
Did I forget someone?
Me too. I totally think I forgot someone, bro.
He's don't get me wrong, super talented, and the sky's the limits with him. He's still very young, and I still think that there is potentially a move up, and West Ham is going to make a boatload of money off of him. But I just there's still a little bit of lacking of the finish to me, where he gets the oh my god, he broke 3 people's ankles, and now he's skied the ball into Rosette, and I'm like, what? Why did that happen?
Yeah. The ability's there.
Oh, 100%. Just lacking that finish, the clinicalness. So that's why he's at my 7.
Okay. At 6, I have Mbuemo. For basically all the reasons that you guys have said.
All of us put Mbuemo. That's great.
Dude, he's crap.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that.
I really don't I have nothing else to say about him. I think you guys covered everything. I think I value what he's done for them a little higher than you guys. And that's why I have him a bit higher. That's mainly the only difference.
I feel like you forgot somebody.
No, I think I know who you think I forgot, and I purposely left them off my list.
Okay, never mind. Okay.
I don't know. I'm so fucking clueless right now. I have Bowen at 6. Yeah, I guess. No, I mean, he's quality. Like, for me, like, I don't know, the Crystal Palace game, for example, I really don't think he wasn't in that game too much. It's like, oh, you'd like Bowen to kind of get involved. Boom, goal. Like, he just pops up.
It's part of his.
That's what he does, though. That's what I'm saying. That's just what he does. Like, he will consistently just pop up and make shit happen, even when nothing's going on. And I think, again, that's a huge thing, especially he's the captain of that team now. They sent Zuma over to the Middle East. So Bowen's got the armband, and I think it's been another positive start for him. Obviously, he got called up for the Euros. Solid player.
I like that shout. I don't have him in my list, but I like that shout.
Yeah, that's who I thought you were forgetting.
That's
just
not
based
who-
off of
Okay,
just
well then I think
Just off of pedigree. I
No,
have to say.
no,
That was I can kind of explain later because
And also importance
No,
for
I-
his team. I'm
yeah,
sure you're
it's
going to talk
fine.
about Bowen.
Yeah, no,
Some-
my 6 is Rashford because he's my favorite player.
At
He's
least he said it.
but also because he's the only person else on this list and the people that are below him that is proven to be a top 3 guy in the Prem, and I think that he can get back to that level. And I'm basing this off of the fact that he can get back to that level. And to start the season, he probably should have 3 assists. So if he does get the 3 assists and Xerxes doesn't fuck up the chances and Garnacho doesn't fucking miss a wide open net, we're probably having a different conversation. He might fit in at your guys' 10. I think he's United's most consistent winger, regardless of what the ceiling is with him right now. The floor is, I think, just basic left wing play, and I think that he provides United with a lot of spacing as well. Like the amount of runs that he makes, I've talked about this before. He's just integral to the way that they go direct, and that's the way forward for United. I think that he's going to play a big role, and so the 6 is honestly I'm holding it there, and I switched him in between 6 and 10 in this list just because I had to put him higher because I'm a United fan, and yeah.
I struggled not to put him in my top 10, just because I've seen what he can do. The last couple seasons are not a reflection of what the best of Marcus Rashford is. But from what I've seen, he hasn't played like bad from the games I've seen from you guys. It does, like we talked about, he looks a little timid. So once he gets his swagger back a little and starts taking on guys and actually showing some of that old self, then I think we could talk about him in this list for me. But as of right now, I can't throw him in the top 10.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. I mean, it was a year ago. Every week, it was inevitable. It was
honestly,
inevitable.
Though the only
inevitable for like 3 months.
I was gonna say, it's the only player that you probably could say that's not on your list that could be in the top 5.
Yeah.
Right, and move up to that. Not talking talent alone. Like if he was to be back to the player that we know that he can be. Yeah.
You just gotta get Vegas back in.
Honestly, he's the key. The Dutch king.
What do we? Is that 5 now?
Now we're on 5. Yeah.
I have Doku and my 5. I couldn't really put him any higher, even if I wanted to. I think the other guys above him are a little bit class above him. So the thing I will say about him is that he should have a lot more output on paper than he does at the moment. Our guys have let him down pretty much every game, and he should have at least an assist every game. He also has like the most take-ons completed the league, like by a country mile. So I see what he offers to our team, and I understand people's frustration with his final third issues, but I don't think they're that big of an issue right now. He's still a very young player, and if he can get in those positions and 2 out of 5 of his crosses find our fucking meat slab, then then I'm totally fine with it, because it's only going to get better and they're going to build that connection. I don't think either of them are going to go anywhere. The main thing with him, though, is Grealish. It's a complete opposite thing that you're offering with Grealish. I don't even have Grealish in my top 10 wingers.
Me neither.
You guys know I love him. I'd die for that man, but I couldn't argue that. And I think Doku just offers us something that he can't.
Yeah.
Is it crazy I don't have Doku on my list?
I
A little bit,
think
yeah.
that is a little crazy.
So I guess let's just get this out the way then, because this conversation is gonna have to come up. You guys know I actually really like Doku. I really like his game, like you said, just every single time taking somebody on, making something happen. The big critique is his end product, and I just think, although yes, he's a very good player, there's tons of room for him to grow and be a top winger. I just think in the system that they're in, and again, this isn't his fault, but every single time he just gets the ball. Not every single time. He gets the ball in these great positions every time. Like, here, go take him on. Like, he just receives the ball right there, one-on-one. Like, you don't have to work for it. And again, that's not his fault. That is not his fault. But again, I just think the players on here just do more and have add more for their team. Again, I guess it's kind of city tax. It's not really fair to Doku, but
I don't know.
it's a player that's got a lot of room to grow. And I think given the situation and the context, like you said too, Grealish looked really good against West Ham. And if he kind of regains that form during the treble year and Savinho looks like he looks, I mean, it's going to be tough for playing time.
I think Doku's our best winger on his day. He's
On his day.
like no one can bench him on our team. So it's just getting that consistency out of him. And like we were saying, he's young, and the rest
100%.
of them are pretty young. Grealish is really the only one that's got some age to him in our winger group. So I think all of them can grow into that. For you to not have him in your top 10 is a little mad to me. I like you saying City's tax. I think he has the most take-ons already and completed take-ons. So that's one thing against the way City plays. Apparently,
Well, I'm
to everyone.
saying he's receiving the ball right in the, like he just has to go take his man on. That's all he has to do when he receives the ball to just go. That's what I'm saying.
I understand. I know what you're saying,
Cool.
but I think he would have more take-ons and more completed take-ons in another.
If he's
team.
further back.
Like it's limited in our team, in my opinion. Like he's gonna do this. Is
Good
him.
point.
This is the way he plays the game. He's gonna do that. If he was on Chelsea, he'd probably have double. That's
If
might be
he was on Chelsea, he'd be on loan to PSV.
Who is your 5, Grant?
My 5 is Matoma, which is also kind of crazy because he missed a lot of the year last year. I really rate Matoma. Yes, he's on my FPL team. That has nothing to do with this. I can assure you. So for me, he just, I mean, I don't even know how to articulate this, bro. Like just watching him play, like it's just so smooth, bro. Like he's just consistently taking guys on. And I feel like something that separates him is he's able to pick out the pass more often than not, or he's very decisive with his decision making once he's able to get past his man. Yeah, so I really like Matoma's game, and I think people just kind of forgot about him because of last year because he just didn't really play too much. But even in the games he was playing before he got hurt, still looked good to start the year. This year still looks very good, still looks like himself. So I think he's poised for another big year. So I got him at 5.
He's not on my list just because I think he's a product of the management that's there. Dude, all of their wingers have been good. Like they and all of their forwards have been decent. Like they're just a good attacking side, and I think that he's a very good player. Don't get me wrong. I just don't see the importance being the same as somebody else because a lot of those goals and a lot of those assists came in 5-0 wins. I just think that there's some times where he tends to ghost, and there's less impact in him playing than him not. I don't know. He was in that fringe of 10 for me, where like I can't realistically put him above anybody else just due to the impact that they have on their squads. Okay. That's really where I struggled on this list.
I get it. I guess that's my type of winger. That is the prototypical. Like if I want like a winger, like I want that type of winger. So yeah, I just like, really rate Matoma.
You said that Doku's not on your list, and like, is he a better winger than Doku?
I think he's a better version of Doku.
Oh,
whoa!
In terms of finished product, I think Doku's got a way higher.
He's 27. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just more under control for me, I guess, because Doku, mind you, he again on his day, like what Bournemouth last year had 4 assists and a goal. Like that's what he can do, right? But he doesn't put that together. And mind you, he did get a lot of game time. And again, I really like Doku, and that's why I kind of hate lists, because like I think it paints a bad picture and like, oh, I don't like Doku. No, I don't got him on my list.
No, that's fair. I just that's how I I mean it's fair with the list point, but like I am also judging you based off of that in my list, man.
I gotta put Jared Bowen in the list.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's boring, but you gotta put Bowen.
Speaking of Jared Bowen, I have him at 5.
Jesus Christ.
30 GAs.
The game's gone.
30 GAs in a West Ham side?
Come on, bro. That's crazy. You have to give him the respect.
That's ridiculous. Okay. I don't know where... This is the wildest take that I've got. I don't know where West Ham is, and I don't know how David Moyes has a job if he's not there.
Well, he doesn't anymore, but yeah.
Well, now
he kept him in his job. He kept him in his job. He scored. Did he not score the winning goal for them to win a European trophy too?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Bigger impact.
Mighty Conference League.
Bigger impact on West Ham than Rice.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I can't. The carousel of strikers that they've had, like he's incredible. I don't like his style of play. It really bugs the shit out of me. But I can't deny the output. One,
you gotta tip your cap.
one face. Two, does nothing on the ball of significance except score and give assists. That I don't know.
He just gets it done, bro.
I don't know. He had 20
He's a blue
goals.
collar winger.
20 goals and 10 assists, and that's higher than everybody else I think we've said on these lists.
Not my number one at the 10.
No. Well, number one. Wait. Who did you say?
Palmer.
Oh yeah, right. That's honestly, I probably could have put him higher, but I don't want to. Don't want to, so I won't. Enough Bowen compliments. He's ugly.
Yeah, we're gonna edit 4. Some of that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On to the cooler West Ham player. I have Kudus at 4.
That is crazy.
I don't know. After what you just said, it's hard for me to argue that he has more impact than Bowen. Bowen clearly has the impact, but it's those games against the top sides in the league where Kudus looks like one of the best 5 players on the pitch. That's scary to me. Every time, the past 2 games we've played them, he's looked really good.
He scored a bike.
I mean, yeah, that was really cool. Last game, almost scored. He hit the post, like rifled it off the post. That scared me. And honestly, it felt like he was going to score all game. So just based on fear factor, I think I have to have him at my 4.
I have Anthony Gordon at 4, which I think is a little high, especially because you guys know my feelings about Anthony Gordon. When we were first linked to him out for like 60 million, I was like, ugh, don't sign him for 60 million. He's done nothing at Everton. And then he takes St. Maximin's spot, and we all love St. Maximin on this channel, so that was another thing. Like, oh, I really don't like this guy. and he was wearing number 8 as a winger. Like, so many things going against him. And then had a fucking really good year with Newcastle, and it's in a season where they struggled. They had a ton of injuries, and he just was consistently there for them and consistently gave them output. If I'm not mistaken, double-digit goals and assists in the league. And he just kept them afloat in a tough year. I think Newcastle are probably going to be better than they were last year. They're probably just going to be more healthy too. I think he was hard done by in the Euros. Obviously, so much talent in that team, but he definitely deserves some minutes. I think he was really good last year. So I got him a 4.
A fair shout. He could very well end up there.
No, I feel like winger is just a really subjective position too.
It is.
No,
100%. That speaking of subjective, I have Doku at 4.
Again, I'm not mad at it. Like that's the thing.
No.
These margins are so close.
They really are.
It's just mad to not have him in the list to me.
No, for sure, bro. But I gotta get. Man, Bueno had to be named.
It's fine. It's not as absurd as the other list. I'm not gonna.
That was fucking. That was disgusting.
He's been City's most talented winger, I think, and most consistent. Like, it hasn't resulted in goals and assists, but he's a difference maker, and he's different.
You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, in City...
In terms of what he's going to...
Look, City have the goals and assists. Like, they have that. That's what Haaland does. That's what De Bruyne does. That's what Foden does. I mean, these guys score goals, and they're going to take some of that share, and I think this is part of the City tax. But he changes the dimensions of the pitch for them. Like, he's just more of like... He's the only one in here that I genuinely believe changes the way that teams have to play structurally because he's there and the amount of take-ons that he has. Like, your right back has to be so focused on him on the left wing. He's also got some versatility. He can play on the, out on the right. It just changes how it gives Foden and De Bruyne and Rodri the space to really do stuff in the middle. And I just don't think that it's talked about enough. You have to dedicate a human being to be one-on-one with him. And honestly, we talked about this with the West Ham game. This is why Grealish may have been a better fit because Wan-Bissaka is a better one-on-one defender. And that's why they switched the sides. That could be the only argument against it is like, he's not the perfect player for every single game, but in the games where he can be the most effective player, like he just changes the field for City.
And I think just to play devil's advocate, either one of you, would you like to respond to the fullback under the age of 30 allegations?
just a really weird coincidence, I hope.
I just wanted to see if anyone had something.
I watched him cook Malo Gusto.
I watched Gusto lock him up last year, mate. Allow it.
He was nasty. Sure. His first year tax. That's it.
Gusto first year.
Second year Gusto got cooked.
Gusto's been a bit shit to start the year, so I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
well, he already beat the allegations with your right back, who we put in our
backup
list.
Right back.
So still had him in our list.
I
number one as well.
Got cooked.
All right. Where are we at on the list?
Trey ball.
3.
3.
I have Luis Diaz.
No. Oh no. No. We're getting into a weird portion of this. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think he's been really scary this year. He had a bad year last year, but honestly,
yeah, really bad.
Can you expect anything else?
He's like 28,
bro.
I
didn't say he's gonna be like what? Okay, his dad got kidnapped in the middle of a season. What are you talking about?
Play better.
It's gotta weigh on your mental a little bit.
That should fuel you as a player, actually.
I don't think so.
No, I'm kidding.
They were saying if you don't get an 8.0 or higher on SOFA score, we're gonna end it. Then I'd understand it. But like that definitely played a part, and he looks a little refreshed. He was getting a lot of slack this summer too, for his age. People were saying like, "Oh, everyone talks about him like he's an old man now." Blah 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 blah. And he's come out the gates firing with this new Arnie slot system. So I don't know how you guys can not. I think it'd be disrespectful to not even have him in the top 10. And I know you guys clearly don't, but he's been really good this season. And I would not have the other people below him. I would not put him below any of the guys I've said.
It's valid. Like I understand that. I don't think he's awful per se, but yeah, just based on last year, I didn't include him. But by all means, he's of that caliber. If he gets back to that form, I just don't think we've seen it for a short while. But
it's been short. But like we need to see it more. But I think him and Salah have been so important to their success early in this Prem season that he needs to be in my top 10.
Okay, so I think,
and I place him very high in that. Obviously,
it was tough for me not to put him on. I just in my list I took one. I said the importance thing, and I think that Salah is just a more important player.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is the next thing was the ceiling of these guys, and I just don't think his ceiling is as high as like any of the other younger players, and that's honestly why I didn't put him in, and I just didn't want to put 2 Liverpool wingers. Not gonna beat around the bush. Fuck them. That's not enjoyable.
Yeah. Where are we at? So 3. Honestly, this one's kind of weird for me, but I have Son. So like, the reason this is kind of weird is because I think in Ange's system, right, like him out wide just doesn't work. Like, I don't think he's a touchline winger at this stage in his career. But I just feel like I had to get him in, like a player of this quality, who's done this for so many years and like in all reality will put up numbers again. Like, you just have to put him in the list. I do think, although he's not the same player he was at his peak, he's still top player, and give him a few more years on these lists and then off in the sunset with no trophies, big dog. But yeah, I got him at 3.
Yeah, he is also my 3, and that means Mila left him off his list, which is...
This is the one I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
He's only performed well this season against the poop that is Everton.
3 games.
I know, but like I'm just saying, like they're not looking good. You guys know my prediction for Tottenham.
Oh yeah, I don't like
know why
him either,
you expect
bro.
anything different. You guys know I like Son, but I don't think he's like if
out of the top 10 just seems
talking about impact. I have them going in 9th. The top 10 winger would probably not have his team in 9th. Like that's the point I'm trying to make.
So you're just standing on business. You're just 10
especially with the top 6
shit.
team that Tottenham is. Like he's like if he's really that good, I think he should have a little more impact on how their team performs.
After what he did for you last year. Do you not remember?
I know. That's your. Thanks. That's my point. Like he just.
Nah, he knew what it meant.
That was a big game, and a big fucking moment for him to score.
That's what they do in big games. It's not his fault.
He's definitely on the decline. Look, like this is the back end. This is the twilight of his career.
On the decline, and as you were just saying, like he doesn't fit in the system that he's being played in. Like I don't know if I can even put him in a top 10.
What does
that
that mean? Doesn't fit in the system. He had 27 goal involvements last year. What is that? Who fits in the system then? He's the only.
He's the captain. Yeah,
he's the captain. And two, who is a better attacking player on that team than him?
I don't.
It's Kulisevsky and Ray Charlson.
But
that was who he was with. That he's the best player on that team.
That's my point.
Yeah. Yes. Is it because it's Tottenham tax? Like that? Are we not including that into the fact?
I think it's just him stuck on the touchline at his. That's not his game,
it's
and that's
not,
what Ange.
Like, he's not.
Ange
he doesn't
has
have
to
the
adjust.
speed to play like that.
I think Ange has to adjust.
It's going to work this season.
Ange has to make it work.
I do think also the benefit of the dot type thing for him. Solanke hasn't gotten going. We don't really know if he's gonna get going like that, but if he can get that connection going on with Solanke, he can easily jump into this if he starts tearing up.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story with the wingers, I just think the margin between, let's say, 3 and 15 is a lot smaller than the rest of the positions. Because, both of us left Luis Diaz out. He had him third. We had Son third. He left him out, right? Doku at 4, I left him out. I think that's just the winger position, like I said earlier, is just very subjective in terms of what do you want out of that position, right? Like, just use City as an example. Doku and Grealish, they play the same position, 2 completely different things. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
I don't know. I think even though he doesn't,
it is a bit disrespectful to a legend, but he's shitting on Spurs, so I'll allow.
I mean, it's not like it has. I don't even have any ill will towards Spurs. I still think
he's got importance, though. I think to write him off because of he's got 2 goals against Everton, like.
He's not my bottom 10 wingers. He's just not my top 10.
Would be a good list.
Like
we should do that list.
I don't know. Like he's still I just think that the fact that he still gets goal involvements is important to me. And at the end of the day, he's a forward, and that's what you need. And I don't know out of all the guys, out of the rest of the guys in my list, he was the 3rd highest.
Yeah.
Fourth highest.
Mine was a bit of a, I guess, to Mila's defense as well. I kind of put him in there as like a legacy put, respect.
That's the thing. 3 years ago, I would have probably put him in my top 3. Like, actually, that's not. I don't know about that.
But he's like last year. I don't know. It's just weird for me because Kudus, we all ranked relatively highly. Like he had a better year than he did statistically, and the stats thing is a weird give and take, right?
Right.
But that's impact, and I don't know. It's just a weird one. That's fair.
Yeah, it's a subjective position. It's tough. So
I'm just rooting for Son based off legacy too. I really he's just a likable player. He's the only guy in this list I don't fucking hate.
That's why I'm saying, you guys know, both of you know, I really like him.
If I spoke highly on Bowen, I gotta speak highly on Son. You know what I mean? I gotta.
I didn't throw Bowen in mine, so I'm justifying.
That you didn't have to. I have to justify why I've got him there.
Yeah. So I think we might have. What do we? I think it's the same 2 players right here, right? For 2 and 1.
Should be.
The question is where you put him.
No, it should not be a question.
Yeah.
Oh no, I may have had. I have a.
All right, Mila, what do you got?
I have Salah at 1 and Saka at 2.
I have Saka at 1 and Salah at 2.
Dude, there's no way.
Yeah, you can't do that, though. You just can't do that.
I can do that because Mila just said they have the 4th best winger. Who do Arsenal? I genuinely, and this goes back to the Cams thing, and I'll argue my point. Salah, legacy, everything. Back end of his career, he's literally leaving. He's leaving. I hate him. There's also that involved.
And he's a demon.
He is a
demon.
Saka doesn't scare me like that when we play
Salah
them.
does not
I'm not Saka. No, please. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't
and the worst part,
when we play Salah, I don't want Salah to fucking.
The worst part is Salah won't do shit for an entire game and still end up with 2 goals and an assist, bro. You can't avoid it. I think is why I have him there. It's you can't. He's inevitable.
Don't get me wrong. Definitely super clinical. Just right now in their careers, I would take Saka over Salah, and I think that also just the importance to their team. They're both it's almost 1A, 1B for me because they're both.
Who do you think is a harder matchup for a fullback? Which is kind of the way I split these 2.
I think it's right now for me it's Saka because I just have seen they both have had really good starts. Like they're not really far apart from me. And Arsenal do not challenge without him. They don't.
I understand. You're arguing Saka's
Liverpool
importance to the team.
Out of Europe without Salah.
I just think that Salah's like nightmare for the fullback. Like I think they would like if you asked the guys in the league, it'd probably be like we would not want to play Salah as our number one option in the league right now. Because like who would want to do that? He's so good, he's so strong, he's fast. Like
he's just impossible to track.
Saka still young, but that he does like kind of have that young trait where he doesn't show up sometimes when he needs to. But Salah, like he's pretty much done it for years now, and he's just a scary player. Like the night before, I do not want, like, kind of want this guy to like roll his ankle mildly before the game.
Yeah, no, that's
I think to be fair to Saka too, it's been a huge workload put on him from such a young age. It's I don't love seeing that just from seeing what we've seen in the past. Like these players, like 19 or let's say what is he 22 now? Like his 22 is not the same as like a let's say Palmer's 22, right? Saka's been playing year in and out for like 4 or 5 years now. So you know, like I don't love seeing that he's just week in. He just plays every minute of every game, but I don't know what that has to do with him not being as good as Salah. I think Salah's just such a tough guard, like Mila said. Like his knowledge and just intelligence, he always ends up right in front of goal and does not miss. Right, just his runs, just everything he does. I mean, yeah, nightmare, like Mila said. Good way to put it.
Yeah, no. He's the most clinical winger on this list, and he's done it for years and years and years. One, I just don't like him because he's done it for years and years and years and years. And I'm a United fan.
Yeah, but
right?
I feel like that's where.
Here, hold on. Just
keep going. Sorry, you keep going.
So, Saka for me right now is, and this is been my whole list: talent and importance. I don't see where Arsenal would be if he's not in that side, because flanking Salah over the last 2 years has been Diaz, Darwin Núñez. For as unclinical as he is, he's still a talent, right? Like he walks into Arsenal's team as their striker, and then we've got Jota. Like
yeah, he does.
Yeah,
good call.
I haven't seen Saka play with a striker. Crazy. Like this is the thing that Arsenal, like if Arsenal had a striker, they could have. That's okay. That actually furthers my point. He had 14 assists with a team that had Kai Havertz as a striker. That's ridiculous. Like, and then Martinelli hasn't been good. They have Trossard jogging in there every once in a while.
Hey. I have Raheem Sterling.
They do have Raheem. You know what? This is what it is. They've just been waiting for Raheem Sterling.
Celtics Shaq, bro. Holy shit.
Been waiting for Raheem to take the left side, which he's not good on, to be the better version. I think it's just the importance.
Raheem Sterling existed, man.
And Arsenal's
no
been
one
better
has Sterling
recently.
on their list.
Actually, at 0, I have Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, above all these guys. Okay, wait. Let me go before I forget.
Yes. Get your Salah.
I forgot.
That happens.
It'll come back to me.
He had 30. He had 25 goals and something assists with a really bad Liverpool team. He had 30.
We've been trying to call him washed for a while now, bro.
I just want him to be gone. The further I move him down the list, the better.
That's what it was. Okay, we've been talking about every fucking episode how they're gonna be shit because Salah, Van Dijk, and like all these guys are gonna leave. So I think that's Trent too. But like Salah, that's one of the big points we've been talking about is his impact on the team. Once he's gone, it probably won't work. Is what we've been saying.
Yeah,
they haven't
been everything
these guys,
to that
so
team.
where are these guys going? Yeah,
he's been that team.
So I guess we could put it like this: if Saka left today and Salah left today, who would be missed more?
Well, I mean, they already signed. They signed Calafiori for left back.
Both teams end up in the relegation battle. That would make my day. So tough. Yeah. Look, they're 1A, 1B for me. I don't even want to I don't want to do 1-2 because they're both that good. I just don't want to put a Liverpool
Yeah, well,
player
you
at
have
1,
to.
so I won't. So I won't.
Fair enough.
So I
Fair
won't.
enough. So when he does something biased, it's cool. But
It's biased in a way that it's not propaganda for his.
oh
own
yeah, I
team.
meant it at the time. I did.
It's not biased because there's like something for me to stand on.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Honestly, like, no, let's not go back into the Palmer conversation. I'll let the game speak for itself.
Hey, if Palmer was in this list, I'd probably have Salah 3.
Oh, Palmer's 1 on this list, bro. Are we crazy? Like, do we want to have that conversation too? Would you guys
Saka
put
started
Palmer above
over
these
him
guys?
in the Euros, so
I don't
sorry,
give
man.
a fuck.
Sorry, man. He
What
started.
about you?
He started in the.
What do you think?
Do I think that Saka should have started in the Euros? The
No,
left
no.
back, yeah.
Who would you have on the top of this list? That's what I want to.
Saka. I have him just above. An A, 1B, 1C.
Such a weak ass answer.
Okay,
Can't have-
Saka has proved that he could do it for longer than Palmer, but like I genuinely believe Palmer will be a better winger than Saka.
Yeah, for me, and again, this argument doesn't work. I still can't believe I put him over De Bruyne. That's crazy. But when you just look at the player, right? Like if you're just like, I don't even want to look at stats, final scores. I just want to watch people play. Like, what are the actions that are being taken by this guy in game? It's just different for me, bro. Like, it's different compared to these other players. Like, he's on, like, at his age, playing with a bunch of players that have never played with each other, just having this chemistry with people. Like, the goal he scored against Everton last year, like that nutmeg back heel 1-2 with Jackson. Like, bro, what is he doing? The audacity to do the shit that he was doing. So, like, that's why I just rate him so highly. But I got him at number 1 if we had him at wingers, if we were doing wingers. What about you, Mila? Curious.
Palmer?
Yeah.
You mean the guy that plays the Rico Lewis role?
I'm talking about the wingers.
And that's I like that take. Cole Palmer is just a worse version of Rico Lewis.
Oh,
Bro, I didn't even get it, fam. I'm talking about wingers. Rico's not playing winger. It's the one thing he hasn't played.
They play in that little pocket between the winger and the striker.
Yeah, Palmer does what he wants, fam. Like you guys said, it's his system. He doesn't play in any pocket.
No, not anymore.
Might be better.
Chelsea
actually might be
I
relegation.
don't put Palmer in my top wingers.
So Palmer or Saka then? How about that?
Like, oh, sorry. Not top 10, he'd probably make my top 10.
Okay,
top 3, I don't think I'd put him. Yeah.
Just because of what he's doing at that position versus what he's doing as a 10? Is that what you're saying?
Just the other guys, honestly. I'd probably put him at like 3. In comparison to Saka and Salah, he'd be my 3.
They're better wingers than him.
Yeah.
Sure. Fuck.
You know what? Just because I want to move Salah further down, yeah, Palmer would be my 1.
Well, I'm glad someone sees the vision.
Yeah. All right, Mila, 1 through 10.
Oh God, 10 through 1.
Oh, sorry, 10 through 1. Sorry, yeah, not 1 through 10.
No, you're good. I have Madueke at 10, Savinho at 9, Matoma at 8, Neto at 7, Mbuemo at 6, Doku at 5, Kudus at 4, Luis Diaz at 3, Saka at 2, and Salah at 1.
Grant.
I have Kudus at 10, Leon Bailey at 9, Mbuemo at 8, Madueke at 7, Bowen at 6, Matoma at 5, Anthony Gordon at 4, Son at 3, Saka at 2, and Salah at 1.
I listened to both of you say Mbuemo and said it in my head 50 times, so he's my 10, so I didn't mess it up.
Mbuemo.
9 is Gordon. 8 is Savinho. 7 Kudus. 6 Marcus Rashford. 5 Bowen. 4 Doku. 3 and 2 Salah, and 1 Bukayo Saka.
Dylan just tried to pick the easy to pronounce names for his wingers.
Yeah, that's
the allegations.
Gordon.
Where's Fatawu? Where's Matt?
Dude, honestly, I needed to get some harder names. I should have said. Did you realize how I haven't said Son's full name?
Youngmin Son.
Did you have Sabal
Human Son
in your 10?
I did. I actually said his name correctly too.
Okay, nice. I don't
Soboslai?
remember.
Soboslai?
Oh, Soboslai?
So he's got two
Spell it.
different way. Oh, dude, the spell. Oh, you want to see how I spelt it without looking at who it was? Just because I gave up halfway through. Szobsli. I gave up. There's no A in there either.
Fucking close. Tell me, I don't even know if I got it right. Can I tell you what I did? Szobozlai.
Sure.
Oh, sorry.
I thought someone had it up.
Hold on. Oh shit! Now I have to spell it right. Hold on. No, I'm looking up Liverpool.
Liverpool midfielder guy.
Oh, some fucking disaster.
Okay, wait. Say it again.
Szobozlai.
The Z and the S were flipped.
No. Oh.
Oh, it was close.
Szobozlai.
Oh, I just forgot an S.
Ah, you just
That's pretty
okay.
good.
I thought you flipped them. Yeah, that's
Fuck
really
you.
good. Good for you.
Thank you.
I was missing a whole A, so that's good.
I have some family that's Hungarian, so I had to get that close.
Fair enough.
No.
All right. Well, I did not imagine in 100 million years that this would be our longest episode.
Yeah,
Now-
well, we're fucking idiots, so there you go.
Yeah, fair. But this has been Clash of Clubs. This was episode 7. We will see you guys in the next one.
Two words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.